time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another episode. It's been a long while, but I'm back. No excuses. I should have been here, but I haven't been. But I'm back, man. Today, we're going to talk about poll talk. The new polls dropped today. We got to talk about those. We got 2 games to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about Baylor and Arizona and Kansas State and Utah. 2 big games tonight. We're going to talk. I got a segment called Let's Talk. We're going to talk about a couple topics. Izzo passing Bob Knight. Do I think Wake Forest should be a tournament team? Is Louisville and St. John's back? How do I feel about the University of New Mexico? And does Kansas have a problem? Those will be at the end of the show. Now, before I get into my show, I'd like to ask that you leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose network. Also, got to go over the shows on the network. We got the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave every Tuesday and Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern. It's about 8:30-ish. Make sure y'all tune into there. We got Unfazed with Joe and AJ every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Shout out AJ. Eagles won the Super Bowl. So, man, I wonder where the direction's going to pivot now. Football season's over. He got his show. We got his pops. His congrats. But now it's basketball season, and both of y'all are still winless against the Pistons. AJ, you won't win a game against the Pistons this year. Sorry, not sorry. Next, we got BWT Baseball with Teddy. Yankees fan, all your baseball through Teddy. Baseball starts in a month and some change. We got the Tokyo series, I believe, March 18th. Teddy can correct me in the comment. Then March, I believe, 27th is opening day. So a little over a month away from that. Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sport. So y'all check that out. We got fantasy football with Coach Coombs. Fantasy football is over, but we do have draft. We do have free agency. So look out for episodes there. We have Real Ballers Only, who featuring Vaughn, which Vaughn has been putting out episodes he's been putting out episodes featuring Dev and JMO. So make sure y'all peep those as well. We have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo boxing episodes there every other Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern. So make sure y'all check them out. And that's all the shows we have on the network. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to all those channels as well. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now we got a comment. My brother, welcome back. Appreciate you, my boy. Happy to be back. But we got to talk about these polls. We got to talk about these polls that just dropped today. Spoiler alert, Michigan State is 14th. I'm not mad at it. I knew we would drop. We dropped that game to Indiana. I knew we would drop, but we only dropped 3 spots because of the huge win against Illinois on the road. So shout out my boys for that one. But we did lose first place. We lost first place in the Big Ten. We are now second. Thank you, Wisconsin, for beating Purdue. Michigan, however, is in first place. Oh, that's disgusting. I'm hurt. But if you remember what I said in the offseason, as much as I dislike Michigan on my show, I can't be biased. Dusty May was an A+ hire, and I knew he would have Michigan looking the way he has them looking. So I was upset because of the Michigan State fan in me. Was able to tease Michigan last year, only winning 8 basketball games, knowing that it was not going to be the same this year, knowing they were going to be a very competitive team this year. It hurts to see them in first place. It does. But let me pull the polls up. I do know this. Auburn beats Alabama on the road to maintain their first place in the country nod. What a game that was. I'll talk about that one. I'll say this: the game at the end of the game came down to execution. When Alabama tied the ball game, Mark Sears led them to tie the game. Tahad Pettiford, he hit a big three right after the break of tie, and then Chad Baker-Mazara hit a big three, and it just seemed like Alabama's execution went out the window. They just started throwing up shots at the rim, not really getting good shots. Auburn getting out in transition because of the lack of good shots taken by Alabama, and they were turning those transition plays into points, and the game got away from Alabama late in the game, and Auburn hangs on the win. Janai Broome did get hurt early in the game. He came back. He had a good one. But, yeah, that's that. Alabama. I wanted them to win so badly. I wanted Nate Oates to be number one again. He was number one a couple years ago. Y'all know how I feel about Nate Oates. I feel Nate Oates, if you don't know, I feel like Nate Oates is the best coach in the SEC. I'm not going to say in the country, but he's the best coach in the SEC, in my opinion. So I really wanted him to get the number one spot. But coming in at number two, we have the University of Florida. That hurts. Surprised somebody hasn't trolled me about that yet. But the Gators coming at number two after beating South Carolina this Saturday by a blowout margin in Gainesville. South Carolina still winless in the SEC. Need that to change. Number three is Duke. Duke stays at number three after blowing out Stanford, putting up 100. Alabama drops to 4. Houston moves up to the top 5 at number 5. So, as SEC still holds 3 of the top 5 spots in the top 5, which is absolutely insane, absolutely elite basketball in the SEC. Number 6, Tennessee, right outside the top 5. They dropped one after they beat Vanderbilt, but it was a close game, down 16 at one point. They came back and won. Houston absolutely wins a barn burner against Arizona, so they flip-flop. Texas A&M moves up to 7. Shout out Wade Taylor. Iowa State up to number 8, bouncing back from the loss to Kansas State a couple weeks ago at home, ending their home win streak. Number 9, a team that I have grown to love to watch play basketball, Texas Tech. I absolutely love Texas Tech basketball this year. Christian Anderson, I say it all the time, a fearless freshman. Elijah Hawkins running the show at point guard, transfer from Minnesota. JT Toppin coming in down low, transfer from New Mexico. Then you got Darion Williams, I believe, transfer from Nevada, and Chance McMillan. I love to watch Texas Tech play basketball. You still got Federico, the big fella, transfer from Pitt, coming in off the bench, I believe. They're just a really good team, really talented, and they play defense. And they just make plays to win games. At number 10, St. John. Rick Pitino in 2 years have turned this program around. Number 11, Wisconsin, coming off of a huge win at Purdue. John Blackwell, sophomore year, is just phenomenal. They got Javon Hadley. No, excuse me, not Javon Hadley. John Tunji, transfer from Colorado State. Hadley, I believe, played for Louisville. I just absolutely love the Wisconsin team. Thought they might lose a little bit, losing A.J. Storr, Chucky Hepburn, and not Max Klesman. Max Klesman currently plays on the team. Connor Season that plays in Nebraska, but absolutely good basketball team in Wisconsin. Number 12 is Michigan, moving up 8 spots from 20. I already talked about them. Purdue at 13 dropped 6 spots after losing to Wisconsin. 14, MSU. I already told y'all about them. 15, Mizzou. What a turnaround. Going winless in SEC play last year to be 15th in the country. Caleb Grill, absolute baller. They have a really good team. At 16, Marquette. Y'all know I love me some Cam Jones, man. Cam Jones is an absolute bucket. I love Shaka Smart and this Marquette Golden Eagles team, but they have been a little disappointing to me at times when I watch them play. 17, Kentucky. Now, this one hurts because Kentucky is without Lamont Butler and Jackson Robinson, 2 vital pieces, especially Lamont Butler, one of the best defenders in the country. He's so vital to that Kentucky team. And then Jackson Robinson is just a straight-up shooter, straight-up bucket getter. But Kentucky's still competitive, even without those 2 guys. Otega Oweh, Amari Williams, Brandon Garrison, Kobe Brea, Perry, shooter off the bench. Well, Perry's now forced to start. And the freshman, Al Minor, his name is close to Alec Minor, shout out Stanford University. But, yeah, they still got ballers on that team. Clemson at 18. 3-game winning streak, took down Duke at Little John Arena, led by Chase Hunter, led by Dylan Hunter, Ian Shefflin. Them boys at Clemson, they're no joke, man. They showing that they're a top team in the ACC. 19, Arizona. Arizona, led by, we'll talk about them later. So I'll just say 19 there. 20, Maryland. Shout out Maryland. Shout out Derek Queen and Rodney Rice, man. Huge program changes there. And Selton Miguel is there. Selton Miguel is such a baller. Transfer from South Florida. He just makes tough shots. You need a big three. You need a clutch three. He got you. You need a late shot clock shot. Hey, he got you. And then also shout out to Kobe Gillespie. Just a baller there. Juju Reese has been playing well of late. I have to give it to him. He's been playing exceptional lately. Still has his crazy plays, but he's been playing exceptional. 21, Mississippi State. Shout out Josh Hubbard. 22, Memphis took a bad loss to Wichita State on the road. Was on a win streak. Wichita State lost 10 straight games to ranked 25 opponents, but happens. The game is college basketball. 23, Kansas. Now, I think Kansas is only ranked because of the name. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Kansas lost 3 of their last 5. They can't seem to win on the road. It's the name. 17-8. I think they're like 8-5, 8-6 in conference play. Big 12 is good. I will say that. The Big 12 is good. You got teams like Houston, Texas Tech, themselves, Baylor, BYU. But they shouldn't be ranked. They shouldn't be ranked. They shouldn't. Not over teams like New Mexico. Rank New Mexico, please. Spoiler alert, they're not ranked. New Mexico is one of the best mid-major teams in the country. St. Mary's one of the best mid-major teams in the country. They're not ranked. 24, Ole Miss. Now, I can't say they're ranked because of the name, because Ole Miss doesn't really have a name in college basketball. I'll say they're ranked because they're in the SEC. I'll say that. At 25th, I was going to be mad if they weren't ranked. Louisville. Louisville deserves to be ranked 3rd in the ACC. 20-6. Lost Keyshawn Pryor, another South Florida transfer. By the way, these South Florida transfers have been program changers. You got Keyshawn Pryor at Louisville. You got Chris Youngblood. Well, he didn't really change the program, but he's playing really well at Alabama. And like I said, Selton Miguel at Maryland. But 25th is Louisville. Pat Kelsey came in and has turned the program around. Shout out to Rain Smith, Terrence Edwards, and Javon Hadley, and Chucky Hepburn. Louisville is a really good program. Look out for them in the ACC tournament. Now, again, 2 teams I think that should be ranked are New Mexico and St. Mary's. I wouldn't be mad if, UCLA took a loss. They lost to Louisville, but I wouldn't be mad if UCLA lost. Was ranked. They won like 6 straight or something like that prior to losing to Illinois. But really, I think it's New Mexico. New Mexico should be ranked. New Mexico, it's the name. It's the name. If New Mexico was not New Mexico, they would be ranked. New Mexico was San Diego State, they'd be ranked. If New Mexico was Gonzaga, they'd be ranked. If New Mexico was, that's another mid-major school that really, I even say a Utah State or Nevada, they'd be ranked. It sucks to have teams like the Lobos, who are a good team led by Donovan Dent, which, by the way, him not being in the top point guard of the country finalists is a robbery. That's absolutely absurd. Donovan Dent is one of the best point guards in the country. Stop playing with that, man. But it's absolutely absurd that a team can be that good and keep winning. They swept Utah State, blew them out on the road, won a good one at home in the pit. By the way, got to go to a game in the pit. But it's just a travesty that some teams got to work harder than others to be ranked. And I just think that's the case with New Mexico. I just look at New Mexico's record. I believe they're 20-3. I'm trying to pull it up just to be completely precise. They lost 1 game in conference play, and I'm having a tough time remembering who that 1 game was to. No, they're 22-4. Excuse me. New Mexico is 22-4. They're 14-1 in conference play. Winners of 8 straight, 13-1 at home, 6-2 on the road. Next closest team is again Utah State, which they swept. Utah State is 12-3 in conference play, and their only conference loss was to San Jose State on the road, which is insane. San Jose State got them, but that's looked at as a slip-up game. But if they don't lose that game, they win 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 straight games. If they win that San Jose, rank New Mexico, please. Get Kansas out of here. Kansas has to earn it. It's the name with Kansas, in my opinion. But that's enough of poll talk. I done talked to y'all about 10, 15 minutes about these college basketball top 25 polls. Please, New Mexico, what I need y'all to do, let me see how many games y'all play this week. You play Boise State this Wednesday, which is a big game, in my opinion, to stay ranked. And San Diego State, that's next week. So they got 1 game this Wednesday. They have to win on the road in Boise, Idaho. That'd be 9 straight, 23-4. Ranked New Mexico. Please. You win this game, they should be ranked. It is what it is, in my opinion. But we're going to move on to the games we got for today. Like I said, we got 2 of them today. First game we got for y'all is Kansas State at Utah. Utah comes into this game as 2.5-point favorites after beating Kansas. I wouldn't say handily because I was watching that game. Kansas should have won that game. Utah was giving Kansas opportunities to win that game. It's just Kansas could not take advantage of that and win that game. So we're coming off that while Kansas State was winners of the last 6 until BYU came in and smacked them in Provo, jumped on them from the gate. Kansas State tried to fight back late, but BYU was just too much, pushed the lead back out, and that was all she wrote. Now, Kansas State is led by Doug McDaniel, the point guard transfer from Michigan, averaging 11.4 points per game, 4.5 assists, and 1.8 steals. David Gesson, averaging 12.8 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, leading in both points and rebounds on the team. And Coleman Hawkins averaging 10.8 points per game, 6.8 assists per game, and 6.8 rebounds per game, and 4.4 assists per game. Now, your X factor, in my opinion, for Kansas State would be Brendan Hawson hitting his 3-point shooting ability, shooting 40% from the 3. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities to shoot open shots against this Utah defense. And I think a game like this might be a shootout. So I think he will be the X factor for Kansas State. Well, you have Utah led by Gabe Madsen, averaging 15.6 points per game. Lawson Lovering averaging 8.6 and 4.8 rebounds per game, which at 7-1 is a little disappointing. And Ezra Sarr averaging 11 points per game and 4.6 rebounds per game, The X factor for me in Utah, in my opinion, would probably be Keanu Dawes, who's averaging 7.5 points per game off the bench. I think his bench scoring would have to be huge in a game like this. He's got to come in. He's got to be aggressive and make shots when they're available to him in order for Utah to win a game like this against Kansas State, who was coming in hot, winners the last 6 of the last 7. But I'm rolling with K-State. I'm not going to let the BYU game trick me off of K-State. I think Jerome Tang has figured this out with Kansas State. I just think they ran into a really good BYU team at home, and BYU is really good at home. So I tried to ride the hot hand for Dog of the Week Saturday. Burnt me. That's what happens. But I think Kansas State bounces back tonight against a Utah team who is fairly decent. I just think Kansas State, it'll be a little too much on the road and win the game. Also, both of these games are fighting for their tournament resume lives. They both have slight chances, in my opinion, very slight chances of making it, but this game is huge. I think the winner of this one, it'll be still tough for me to say they'll make it, but obviously the winner of this one will enhance their chances better than the other one. Now, the next game we got for y'all is Arizona at Baylor. Baylor coming into this one as 1.5-point favorites. This game is 10 o'clock on ESPN. Now, Arizona, like I said, coming off the loss to Houston, but they're still second in the Big 12. They won. They'd have been number 1, tied with Houston on the tiebreaker, I believe. But they lost, so they're second. Baylor's kind of a middle of the pack because the Big 12 is still good. They're 8-5. Baylor's coming in this one after winning in overtime against West Virginia at home. West Virginia is not a slouch of a team. Yes, West Virginia is missing Tucker DeVries, but they're still a good team. Javon Small, Eric Andre. I think his name is Eric Andre. Actually, might be the name of the dude from Adult Swim. But Andre, the big man, they got pieces at West Virginia. This one though, Arizona led by Caleb Love, 15.9 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, and 1.4 steals per game. Caleb Love, his shot selection is going to be huge in this one. His ability to make the 3 ball is going to be huge. Can't take wild shots. Has to be able to make his threes because Baylor got the ability to score with the guys they have that I'll talk about in a second. Jaden Bradley averaging 11.6 points per game, 5.8 assists per game, and 2 steals per game. I think Bradley defensively is going to be big, especially going against them freshman guards. And he has to be able to put the ball in the basket as well for Arizona. And then my third guy I said that they're led by is Trey Townsend, a transfer from Oakland University, not the Bay Area, Oakland, as in Michigan. He's averaging 8.8 points per game, 4 rebounds per game. He came back last week, hit a corner 3, surprised me. His 3-point shooting is not really his strong suit, but I think he's going to be huge down low for the Wildcats to help Owaka. Speaking of Toby Owaka, he is my X factor, and his defense on No Chart Omier will be absolutely key in this one. He has to stay in the game. Cannot be in foul trouble like he was against Houston. They also have a big man. I want to say his last name is Vesler at Arizona. He's going to be huge too. It can't be really a drop off defensively when he comes in the game for Waka. But those two bigs are going to be the X factor in their defense against Norchid Almir. Now for Baylor, Rob Wright. I love this freshman point guard, Rob Wright, man. He's fearless as well, poised, runs the offense. He gets good shots, can get to the rim. I love Rob Wright, man. He's averaging 12.8. Rob Wright the third, excuse me. Let me say the third as a guy who has that as a suffix. Rob Wright the third. 12.8 points per game, 4.6 assists per game, and 1.1 steals per game. VJ Escombe. I like what I see him out of VJ, man. He can shoot the three ball. He can knock down clutch shots. He also has the ability to get to the rim. And I think his game is really good, man. I don't really see VJ really get sped up too much when watching him play. So I think VJ plays at his own pace most of the games. He's a really good guy, and I think he does really well getting his own shot, but also being set up for a shot as well. VJ Escombe, 14.6 points per game, 5.3 rebounds per game, and 2.2 steals per game. Now, Norchid Almir, man, what can I say about him, man? A transfer from Miami, dominant big man, a little undersized, but what he is undersized, he makes up for muscle, motor. But with Almir, he can get in foul trouble as well because he is undersized. But he's averaging 15.7 points per game, 10.2 rebounds per game, 1.3 steals, and 1 block per game. His activity, his motor is huge for the Baylor Bears. But in my opinion, the X factor in this is going to be Jalen Celestine and his three-point shooting. His three-point shooting ability, he's shooting the ball at 37.4% from three, and that's both huge for the Baylor Bears. I think he's going to have opportunities to get open shots with Rob Wright running the offense. He's got to knock him down for the Baylor Bears. But my winner in this one, going to Arizona. Arizona, tough loss, but they're still a really good basketball team. And they took Houston to the wire, which Houston is a threat to win a national championship. They took them to the wire. I think that these guys, they match up well with the Baylor guards, and the bigs match up well with Almir. If they can get Almir in foul trouble, they can start running it up down there in the paint, getting a lot of paint points. Maybe Caleb Love starts taking the ball aggressively to the cup, forcing fouls on Almir, trying to contest. I have Arizona winning this game on the road, man. I think that they're a really tough team. And the thing that I like what I saw from Arizona in the Houston game is they turned up that intensity defensively. They played really good defense against Houston. It's just LJ Cryer, man, he's just a bucket. It just is what it is. LJ Cryer's a bucket, and it's not too many bigs that can stop Juwan Roberts from getting to his spots and scoring in that paint. So if Arizona can play that type of intensity on defense and play that lockdown defense like they did against Houston, I think that bodes a problem for Baylor and this offense. So I'm rolling with Arizona. Now, before I go, it's been a while since I've been here, so I got a Let's Talk segment. Like I said earlier, Tom Izzo passes Bob Knight beating Illinois Saturday night in the crib, in Illinois, in Champaign, to pass Bob Knight for the most Big Ten wins. Now, I wanted it against Indiana, one, because I didn't want to lose first place, and two, it would be crazy how that would work. Bob Knight, legendary Indiana coach, Izzo breaks the record against Indiana in East Lansing. But for the second year in a row, the Indiana bigs were too much, and we lose to Indiana. But shout out to Izzo nonetheless, got it done against Illinois. What a run to end the game. I saw people complaining on Twitter, oh, look at the score before break. It was 69-67, and then the MSU won 79-65. How that happened? It's because Jaden Akins got called for a BS goaltending that was not goaltending. They couldn't review it then. They had to wait till the next dead ball. They reviewed it, and rightfully so took off the points. Now, me personally, do I like that? No, because it changes how teams play and think. You have to, in my opinion, if you're going to review it after you call it. If you're going to have it reviewable. Now, I don't think it used to be reviewable until like recently. So you just had to go with the call. Cool. But now it's reviewable. I just say you got to review it on the spot because it can change teams' demeanor. Because I believe they were tied with us when it happened. We go up 2, come back from the break. We're up 4 because I knew we would be. And we just took off from there. But you got held scoreless. It's not on us. And they had some shots too. They had some opportunities. Got to make your shots. But MSU passes Bob Knight. Shout out to him as we play Purdue tomorrow night. May or may not go live. It's going to be kind of hard because I told you that the main show got phased and I got to go to work. So might be hard. Wake Forest. I asked the question earlier. Should they be tournament bound? My answer, yes. I said it since the beginning of the season. Joe can attest to this. Wake Forest, if they're going to make the tournament, this is the team to make it. They got a huge blowout win against SMU without Cam Hildreth. Juke Harris stepped in there starting for Cam Hildreth, and they won. I love Elfton Reed. Big man down low. Got to stay out of foul trouble. There's an Achilles heel to his. Staying out of foul trouble. And I feel like Wake Forest, they're a really good team, man. I just think it's the name. Unfortunately, Wake Forest basketball of late has been synonymous with poor basketball. It just, unfortunately, it is what it is. As a guy who wants to see them in the tournament and thought they should have had a chance or they should have been in the tournament last year, they had well, they did drop some games late in the year. I do have to say that. But I thought they were a tournament-bound team or a tournament team. I want to see them in. Now, I look at the resume. Well, I look at their record. First of all, let's go find their record. Now, I will say this, but while I'm looking for the record, they dropped a game, I want to say against, was it Stanford? No, they won that road Stanford game. They did drop a game that I didn't think they should have dropped. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now. And now I can't even find Wake Forest. Wow. They don't play this week. Oh, here they go. They play NC State, which is not a resume building win, but they have to win nonetheless. They dropped it. Florida State. That's the game they dropped. They did drop that game at home, and I thought that was a no-no. Cannot drop that game. But I look at their record. They are 19-7, which is cool. 11-4 in ACC play, which is fourth. Cool. Jets got, like I said, the huge blowout win. I think that's a quad one win, if I'm not mistaken, against SMU and Dallas Moody Coliseum with no Cam Hildreth. Good. They're 11-2 at home, 6-4 on the road. Cool. Now, I will say this. Early in the year to me is early in the year. Oh, by the way, they did beat Michigan. That looks like a really great win now. Did beat Michigan. Lost Xavier. Got blown out. But Xavier's not a bad Big East team. They've been turning around of late. Actually been playing good ball lately. Lost to Florida. Florida's second in the country. That's not a bad loss. Lost to Texas A&M. They're currently seventh in the country. It's not a bad loss. Lost to Clemson. Second in the ACC. It's not a bad loss. Beat James Madison. This is not the James Madison of last year. As much as I want to give them a quality win for that, it's a good win. It's not as good of a win, though, as you would want it to be. They are a good team in the Sun Belt. I do think Arkansas State is my favorite to win the Sun Belt, however, but good Sun Belt team. And then the rest is ACC play. They played Duke close to the wire. They lost. They lost to Louisville. The Duke game was at their house. The Louisville game was at Louisville. And, I mean, like I said, they're 11-4 in conference play. And their losses aren't that bad. I look at the resume. I don't see one bad loss other than Florida State. That's a bad loss, but that's a conference loss. But that's it. Wake Forest, to me, is a tournament team. It's the name. Why does Wake Forest have to do more than others to make the tournament? They're a tournament team. I'm sorry, not sorry. Now, for Wake Forest to assure that, they do have to win on the road against NC State this Saturday. They do have to win at home against Virginia, which Virginia is a bad team this year. They're really feeling the effects of Tony Bennett not being there. They have Notre Dame at home. You have to win. Duke game on the road. Do you have to win? No. You have to be competitive. You got to have it close. It can't be a blowout loss. You lose to Duke in a blowout, it's going to confirm all the things that I don't think should be confirmed, and then you have to win against Georgia Tech at home. You can only afford to drop the Duke game, in my opinion, the way how they've been grading Wake Forest that hard. Can only afford to lose the Duke game, and it got to be close. And then you got to make a mini ACC tournament run. Win 2-3 games, maybe get to a semifinal, and they're in. But I think they're a tournament team. Now, my next thing I talked about, Louisville. Louisville's back. Now, I talked about it in the poll, so I kind of spoiled it. Louisville is back. Pat Kelsey, man, he's doing exactly what he did at College of Charleston. Got Rain Smith, brought him over. brought in transfers because, I mean, hey, Louisville lost a lot. Sky Clark left on UCLA. They lost a lot. Last year, they lost a lot. 2 years ago, I mean, Louisville was just a bad team. Didn't retain much. So he had to bring guys, his own guys in. They're now ranked top 25. They're now second and third in the ACC. Let's confirm. They are second in the ACC, tied with Clemson, both 13-2. They are 20-6 overall. And mind you, they lost some of those games due to Keyshawn Pryor getting hurt and having to figure it out. Once they figured it out, it was right back where they left off. And I look at the resume. Okay, they got blown out by Tennessee, number 6 in the country. Cool. They they beat Indiana. They beat Indiana, which the win don't look as good now. But they dominated that game, almost won by 30. They beat West Virginia. Lost to Oklahoma, which don't look as good now, but Oklahoma was undefeated, I believe, in the regular season before SEC play. Lost to Ole Miss badly. Lost to Duke. Lost to Kentucky. Was not a bad loss. But they're, like I said, those are the only two losses they have in ACC players, Duke and Kentucky. They have rattled off since that game. Oh, not my 4 straight. So hold on. Oh, I'm tripping. Kentucky's not an ACC loss. Kentucky is an SEC loss. That was a rivalry game. But they won 4 straight. They're a really good team. I do like Louisville. I do think they're back. And I think Pat Kelsey will build from this. I really do. Now, a lot of the team, I believe, are seniors. I know Hepburn's gone after this. I believe Terrence Edwards is gone. I want to say Rain Smith is gone. A lot of the players might be gone after this. But I think he's going to build. He's bringing the program up. And Louisville's a basketball school. Once you get the sense that Louisville is back, recruits are coming. They're coming for sure. Yeah, a lot of this class is seniors. Terrence Edwards, Javon Hadley, Chucky Hepburn, Ali Khalifa, which he don't really play like that. Keyshawn Pryor, which I don't know if they can do a medical red shirt for him. I'm not sure. Rain Smith, senior. Noah Waterman, senior. Yeah. So a lot of this team, but like I said, I think with the way they're playing, the recruits are coming in, showing he can recruit the transfer portal. He's going to do it again. I think Louisville's back. St. John, for sure back. Rick Pitino does it again. Now, got fired because of the allegations of Louisville. Goes to Iona, makes them a prominent MAC school, MAAC, Metro Atlantic. They make the tournament. They're a good team. Goes to St. John. Close to making the tournament, I think. Or it was a really good team, but right on the fringe. Dominant at Big East. 2 years, dominant first place in the Big East. Just got a huge win against Creighton last night. Well, not last night. Yesterday, 3 o'clock. Game tipped off. He's been a really good coach, man. You can say whatever you want, but St. John's is back, and it's because Rick Pitino and his magic, man. Just absolutely magical job he's doing. St. John is a lot to make the tournament. I can't even remember the last time I seen St. John in the tournament. Honestly, I don't remember the last time them being in it, but just absolutely a fantastic job he's done with those boys. Currently at a record of 13-2 in Big East, 2 games in front of Creighton, who they just beat, and 22-4 overall. Coming out, they did lose to Villanova. That was a tough loss on the road. Do remember that one. But I look at it. They beat New Mexico. Lost in overtime by a point to Baylor. Lost to Georgia on the road, which Georgia's a pretty good SEC team at home. Beat Kansas State. They did lose to Creighton by 1 on the road. That's their only other Big East loss besides Villanova. And then I'm just looking at Butler by 8, Xavier by 10, Villanova by 12, Georgetown by 5, Seton Hall by 28, which, by the way, shocking win, Seton Hall beating UConn in overtime for their second Big East win. That was insane. Dan Hurley, you getting humbled, bro. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. You are getting humbled this year. Beats Georgetown again, this time on the road by 25. Providence by 2 at home. Beats Marquette by 6. Beats UConn by 6. Then lose to Villanova and beats Creighton by 6. So I think St. John is back. I think they're back. RJ Louise is having a really good year for them. Shout out Joel Sirianno, I know he's not playing there anymore, but that was like one of the main keystone pieces a couple years ago. Sorry he couldn't make the tournament, but Kadari Richmond and RJ Louise for St. John has been huge. So yeah, we'll move on. I talked about ranked New Mexico, talked about it already, so we'll move on. Kansas. Does Kansas have issues, man? At Allen Fieldhouse, I would say no. They don't have issues. Kansas, at Allen Fieldhouse, I think they're 12-2. They are, 12-2. But on the road, away from Allen Fieldhouse, 3-6. 3-6. It's no good. No bueno. That makes their current record 17-8 with an 8-6 Big 12 record. Kansas got some issues, man. You can't play at home in the tournament. Neutral site games. Man, if I'm Kansas, I'm a little worried, man. They lose to Utah on the road. Not a good loss. They lose to Kansas State on the road. Kansas State has now won 3 straight on those rivalry games at home. They lose to lose to Baylor on the road. But they beat teams like Iowa State at home. So, like, it's bad. It's bad. They lose to that game is crazy. I remember that Houston game, but that was at home. They lose. Hold on. Why am hold on. It might be in November. Lose to wait, hold on. I'm tripping. Oh, they lose to Creighton on the road in that rivalry game. Lose by 13. Lose to Missouri. And it's just, and they lose. Well, they lost to West Virginia, but that was at home. Well, I don't even know if that was at home. I think that was like a neutral site. Oh, no. That was at home. I'm trying to see. It was one more road game that they lost. Oh, they lost to Iowa State, but Iowa State was a really good home team, so I'm not really bold enough to put too much in that one. But, yeah, all in all, I think they have some road woes, man. 3-6 on the road. Got to be better on the road because, like I said, as much as I can excuse the Iowa State loss on the road, it's neutral site games in the tournament, man, and you're going to go against hot teams, going against teams that either A, won their conference tournament, and that's how they got there, or B, are really good and got at large bids, and that's why they got there. So you're going to have to find ways to win against good teams on the road because you're going to play them in neutral sites. And ain't no home cooking. You're not playing them at Lawrence Fieldhouse, so got to figure that out. I didn't have it write it down, but my last topic, let's talk South Carolina. Don't have the shirt on, but I'm always repping. I've been watching. I know we're winless in the SEC, but them boys been fighting hard. They've been fighting. It's just they can't find a way to win. Starting with the Auburn game, Nick Pringle at the line up 1, shooting 2, missed them both. Auburn goes down to score. We can't score. They win by 3. Florida dominating the entire game at Colonial Life Arena. I'm like, this is it. We finally about to get a win, and it's against Florida. Let's go. Turn the ball over late. Florida goes down and scores. They were losing the entire game. Take the lead with like 5 or 7 seconds, something around there. Can't score, lose by 1. Ole Miss, tie ball game late at Colonial Life. I'm like, this is it. It's finally it. Malik Dear hits a big 3. They go up 3. Can't find a way to rally. We lose that game. We're in these games. I just need the players to realize that we are in these games. Just can't find a way to win. But we're right there. They're a good team. They just got to figure out a way to get over the hump. And maybe once they get over that hump, it might rattle off 2-3 straight. Might not mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. You ain't going to the NIT. You're not going to the tournament unless you win the SEC championship, SEC tournament, which, bruh, it's way too much of a gauntlet for that. Might be a CBI team, might be a CIT team, but at this point, it's for pride. It's for the name on the front and the back. Shout out my boy CMB. I said last year he should have had some draft considerations. This year they're coming true. It's not lotto yet in terms of the media. I think he's a lotto pick. I think, man, with that motor, that activity, his IQ, I think he's has so much raw talent too. If you can develop that raw talent, I think he's a lotto pick. But whatever. But he is getting the NBA love. He's getting first-round love, and that's all I can ask for CMB. Colin Murray Boyles, if you don't know who I'm talking about. But I would love to see South Carolina get a win tomorrow at LSU. to finally get over that hump and get an SEC win, first one of the year. Man, it would be good to see. I'm not gonna lie. Especially this team should know they're good. They beat Clemson at Colonial Life Arena. Clemson's a really good team. They won that game. They just gotta believe it within themselves. I'm looking at the rest of the schedule. They got LSU, Texas, led by Trey Johnson. Oh my God, Trey Johnson is a bucket, the young freshman. Missouri, that one's on the road. Arkansas at home. Cal and Arkansas has been playing better basketball late, so that's gonna be tough. Georgia at home, that could be a sneaky one. We can finally get one there, and then Tennessee on the road, which I don't see as winning at all. But man, just come on, guys, let's go. Tomorrow, 9:00. Let's get that first W in the SEC. But that's all I got for y'all today. Like I said, it's been a while, but I'm back. You will be getting consistent episodes just like the past. I don't know why I was gone. There's no excuse. I should have been here, and I wasn't. Enjoy these games. Some of these games that tipped off, like UNI, Murray State. Nice little Missouri Valley game for you. I did pick UNI to win. Shout out Trey Campbell. I hope UNI wins, as they're currently up 4 points, 14-10. You got McNeese. They're playing currently up 23-11 against Southeast Louisiana. McNeese is the tourney team to look out for to make the tourney. And yeah, like I said, you got the games I said to look out for. Got games tomorrow to look out for. Games every week, man. I think that might be an issue too. It's like, I don't know I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do this. Because, you got games every week. You got big games every week. I want to come on and talk about them, but then I can't come on every day. Whatever, I'm rambling. But it's all I got for you out of the day. And until next time, I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.